Today is a big day, guys. If you're watching this video, you know why it's a big day, but you don't necessarily know why I'm doing it, if that makes sense. We'll get into that more a little bit later, I promise, but for now I actually have a 6-hour drive ahead. I'm headed to Squamish, British Columbia in Canada, so let's just hit the road. Got myself a little bit of Taco Bell for lunch. Oh, you might be wondering why my tailgate is green, and the reason is because when I got my old camper, I had to take the tailgate off, obviously, and for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to leave it down at my parents' house in Southern California. So when I sold that camper, I was left without a tailgate. Fortunately, there was one person who happened to be selling a tailgate for a first-gen Tundra, which I found to be pretty miraculous because I don't know too many people who sell their tailgate. Anyways, that's why it's green, but it doesn't matter anyways, because once I get this new camper, the tailgate's gonna be down, supporting some of the length of the new camper. So the only time that I've ever crossed the US-Canadian border via land travel was like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was on the East Coast over by Niagara Falls, and I was actually with my parents as well. They were driving. So realistically, this is kind of like the first time I'll be crossing a border in a car by myself. So I don't know what to expect, but as we get closer, I'll try to film as much of it as possible because I think it might be interesting for those of you who are like me and have never really crossed the border. Still got a little ways to go until then, but I'll keep you guys updated. I don't know how well you guys can tell in this footage, but it's very hazy and smoky out right now, which means that there must be a wildfire nearby. Oh man, it's actually pretty bad. It's just getting worse and worse. As I'm approaching the border here, I'm starting to hope that they don't scrutinize my story of why I'm entering Canada. It might be a little bit out of place to hear that I'm entering Canada to go buy a new camper. Maybe it's not that out of the ordinary, actually, and maybe I'm overthinking it. Either way, I guess we'll see.
Hi there.
Howdy.
Thank you.
Passport?
Where do you live, sir?
What's that?
Where is your home?
Oregon, Portland.
What brings you up this way today?
I'm actually buying a camper up in Squamish, yeah.
Okay, so you just head up to Squamish?
Yeah, just up to Squamish.
Are you just here for the day to do that?
I don't know if I'm gonna spend the night somewhere here in Vancouver or across the border. It all depends on how quickly.
Have you been here before?
I've been to Vancouver before, yeah.
What do you got in the truck with you? Any goods?
No goods, just camping stuff.
Any good? You carry any self-defense items or weapons on board? Knives, guns, anything like that?
Nope.
You're all set.
Thank you.
See you later.
See ya. We're in Canada. Well, that was easy enough. He didn't really question it at all. Maybe more people do come up here to buy campers or make deals like that than I would have expected. But anyways, we're in Canada. I'm officially out of the United States, and now that's all that's left to do is I gotta go exchange my US dollars for Canadian dollars, then I'll go meet up with this guy. Got that Canadian cash money, now let's go get ourselves a camper. my goodness, guys. This is one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. Gosh. So pretty. Well, that's a disappointment. The camper was really cool. I was almost ready to pull the trigger and get it, but in fact, I kind of was poking around at all the walls and the different corners and really thoroughly inspecting it, because I know that these campers can have some hidden spots where damage gets through. And upon my really close, thorough inspection, I discovered that one of the walls was very, very soft with water damage. And underneath the camper too, on the floor, I discovered the whole bottom was kind of mildewy. And so I didn't get it, which means I drove all the way up here and I'm coming back empty-handed, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I'm really glad that I did thoroughly inspect it before just, throwing my money at the guy, since I drove all the way up here, because that's the last thing I need is another older camper with water damage, because that's exactly why I got rid of the last one. It just doesn't survive up here. It just doesn't survive the rainy conditions in the Pacific Northwest. So, yeah, that's about almost 300 miles wasted. Well, 600 total when I drive back tomorrow. Should have known better. Should have known it was too good to be true. I don't hold it against the guy, because honestly, most people probably wouldn't even really notice that where it was. But since I already had a camper and I dealt with this, I knew exactly where to look. I just realized that I didn't even tell you the coolest part about the camper. And this was supposed to be the big reveal, in that it was another slumber queen. Yeah, it was another slumber queen. Apparently, there is a good amount of them actually up here in British Columbia, because the company is from British Columbia. So Slumber Queen is a manufacturer that you see more often up here. It looked a lot different. I will just drop a couple pictures in the video right here. Wouldn't that have been so friggin' cool? I was pumped. I was really pumped. But it is what it is. The search continues, and I know I'll figure something out. So tonight, the plan is, the new plan, I don't have any cooking supplies. I don't have really any camping supplies. Fortunately, I do have a sleeping bag. I have a sleeping pad, and I have my pillow. So I think I'm gonna go pick up dinner somewhere in the area, and then I'm gonna head to a dispersed camping spot, or I'm gonna just try to find somewhere to camp, and I'll just sleep in the bed of my truck with no shell or anything. We're gonna be under the stars tonight, which will be fun. But yeah, total bummer. That's just the risk you take when you drive long distances to check out something that you're gonna buy. I don't know if you guys have had these, but when in Canada, that grocery store didn't have beer. I don't know if that's like a thing in Canada or just here in British Columbia. I don't know. Luckily, there's a liquor store. All right, got my beer, got my food. Let's go find a spot to camp. This is turning into a much different kind of video than I was expecting. I anticipated making a video surprising everybody with my new camper, but here I am instead gonna go sleep in the back of my pickup truck without any camper. Good times. So one question that I get all the time is how I find my camp spots. Now this is one of the ways I do so, not all of the time, but a lot of the time I use this app called iOverlander. This video isn't sponsored by them or anything. I just happen to use this app quite often, and it has all kinds of different types of camp spots, from wild camping, dispersed camping, which is the same thing, established campgrounds. It even has like hotels, urban camping, places you could fill up water. There's like a ton of different filters that you could search for different things, but I typically just use it to find dispersed camping options. So I was looking at this spot earlier and it looks pretty good, so I think that's where we're going to be headed. This is not how I envisioned tonight going, but that's all right. It'll be a good chance to sleep out under the stars. Fortunately, I had a sleeping pad and a blanket, as well as my quilt in here. I laid down the sleeping pad, and it's really thin, so I didn't want to like feel the ridges of the truck bed too much. So I put my blanket over top for extra cushion, and then I'm using my quilt for warmth. I've cowboy camped in the past, which is basically the same thing, except you're like on the ground. So this is pretty luxurious compared to that. Oh, let's test it out. Oh. You can really feel the ridges of the truck bed, unfortunately. It's not gonna be the most comfortable night of sleep. 2 uncomfortable nights of sleep while camping in a row. I would take this though over the Honda Fit any day. This time I'll be able to drink a couple beers to help me make it through the night as well. Wow, this is super pretty though. Cheers. Oh, that's good. Why have I not had a white IPA before? Ketchup flavored chips. I don't know where I've had these before. It must have been while I was here in Canada, I think. I don't remember, but I know it sounds kind of weird, but I do recall them being pretty good, and I figured since I'm here in Canada, I might as well get something that I could only get in Canada. Ketchup chips. Oh yeah, they smell ketchup-y. Solid. Definitely very solid. Also got myself a sandwich. Since I don't have any cooking supplies with me, or really anything at all, I had to just get stuff that would be, you know, easy to eat. Alright, so let me address the question that I know is on everybody's mind. What happened to the almost new camper that I just got about 3.5 months ago? And, well, it's gone. I sold it. Part of the reason is because I saw this camper and thought that this was gonna be the perfect camper for me. So I went ahead and sold that, but there's a couple reasons why that other one wasn't gonna work. The main one was I took it to the car wash to wash my truck, and I discovered that a bunch of water and soap had gotten in through the side wind door that kind of opened, the one on the driver's side. And I knew when I was ordering that that could potentially be an issue, because the more moving parts that aren't just solid walls, the more potential for leakage, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest, where it rains for 6 to 7 to 8 months out of the year. So once I saw that, I had a really, really bad feeling that the camper was not going to last. And so I sold it. We'll see where the adventure takes us, because the adventures always prevail, as you see by this setup here. It doesn't really matter what kind of camper you're rocking, but we'll figure it out, don't worry. Talk about a pretty view to wake up to. Alright folks, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm not sure exactly what the future holds as far as rig goes, but I do know that the adventures will continue regardless. I mean, even if I have to just keep sleeping in the back of the pickup for a while, so be it. Because that was fun. I liked that a lot. We'll see what happens. Either way, appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. It's a rough road. You guys go out there and go on some adventures of your own. Live life. Beat the status quo. Y'all know the drill. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Peace.